Hey, what is going on, guys? It is Young here, and today I'm back with another Fortnite video. In today's video, I have a little bit different of a video, and so for this video, I wanted to be talking about sort of the changes that were in 8.2, and really just give my honest opinion on everything, because I haven't talked about it too much. I was really just waiting to see how it would play out, and so playing on it for about a week. So I'm pretty sure the update's been out for like at least a week by now. But anyways, the only thing that people even cared about the update was mats per kill and HP per kill. And so I want to give my kind of opinion on that. And my opinion might be a little bit different than most people's. But to start off, I'm pretty sure like everyone knows, and pretty much everyone's opinion is almost exactly the same. I'm not a big fan of the update. And for those of you guys who've been on Twitter, been on YouTube, pretty much been on any sort of social media platform, you can see a lot of pros and a lot of big players are doing polls to see exactly what people think about the update. Because of course, a lot of pros aren't going to be liking any of the new updates, but they want to see exactly what the community has to say and see if they would agree with them or not. And pretty much every single poll has been like 85 or 90% say they would revert the update if they could, meaning that they don't like exactly what's happening. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys already know that by now. And to be completely honest with you guys, I haven't been playing as much public matches as I have, the previous, because I was playing pubs quite a bit a day, probably at least a few hours a day. I would go into a pub game and just absolutely stomp, drop a few 20 bombs, and really just have a lot of fun. It'd be a good time. But after the patch, I would say over the weekend, probably when I say I have the most amount of time, I was playing the game maybe 2 or 3 hours over the course of the entire weekend. So I really wasn't playing too much because I really just wasn't enjoying the game. I didn't think it was that fun. And personally, in my opinion, the reason why I don't think it's that fun is because for a lot of factors, and I really just think the game is just too slow in the current state. And I really want the game to be sped up. I don't really like to have to, farm up mats for 5 minutes. Because honestly, if you don't farm up any mats at all, if you just try to run through players and pick up mats from them, maybe farm a little bit here and there, you're not going to have any mats whatsoever. You're going to be going into gunfights with 150 or 200 mats. And what I've noticed, maybe a lot of you guys have noticed as well, is that in the games you're playing, there really isn't too much of a difference when it comes to the rate of which people are dying. In my opinion, maybe they die just slightly slower, but at the end of the day, they're still dropping at almost the exact same rate. I really don't see too much of a difference. And even if I play really aggressive, I'm still not even able to drop as many kills I had before, which obviously I'm not gonna be able to push as quickly. But at the same time, when I look at the zone and seeing how many people are left, I feel like it's almost exactly the same. There's not too much of a difference. But back to what I was saying earlier when I said the polls that the pros were doing, or a lot of players were doing, that most of them really were 85 or 90% of people saying they would like to revert the changes. So with that being said, with most of the community in pretty much the exact same agreement, they want HP per kill or mats per kill, and I can totally see how exactly this would work. Because a lot of people, I guess from Epic, would assume that maybe if they slowed the game down a little bit, that a lot of newer players would have a better chance of being able to get kills and just enjoy the game a little bit more, because they're not going to be dying off spawn or dying to the the sweatiest player in tilted towers every single game. But at the exact same time, I was just playing on mouse and keyboard just to kind of mess around. When I play with my friends, sometimes I would just play on mouse and keyboard, and it's so much more fun actually being able to go to tilted, getting off one kill, and then getting a little bit of shield from that kill. Because otherwise, I'm really terrible on keyboard and mouse. Otherwise, I'm really not going to be getting any sort of kills at all, and it's just super boring if I have to farm up a ton of mats, just because I know I'm more than likely going to die to the first player I run into. So if I'm able to get a kill on one of the players, it does feel good to have a nice reward being able to actually get some shield and some mats from that kill, so I can build and maybe actually have a real gunfight, other than just running into the gunfight with 25 HP and no mats, because in that case I'm going to be dying almost guaranteed. So with all that being said, that really begs the question if Epic really does listen to the community and is doing, what's in the best interest of the community. Because Epic has made quite a few controversial changes in the past, and I feel like some of them actually has helped the game, be a little bit longer, even though they aren't the best kind of updates that everybody wants. But an update like this, with the majority of the community being on the same page, I really don't understand exactly why they would want to keep it the way it is, even though though I get they want to be able to keep the game for as long as they can, but I feel like it's going to be one of those things where it turns into the same kind of fate as Call of Duty, because for all you guys know who used to play Call of Duty a ton, they wanted to add jetpacks into the game to kind of just help the younger players, or pretty much the players who don't play the game a lot, the younger audience, to kind of, you know, encourage to stay on the game, because jetpacks just for some reason sound cool, when in reality I'm pretty sure it would be somewhat of this kind of same kind of polls where it would be 70, at least 70, 80, or maybe even 90% saying they wouldn't want jetpacks in Call of Duty, and it was just a super bad idea, and it was at least in the game for 2 or 3 years. For some reason the developers thought that Call of Duty would turn in that direction and it would be a lot better to play, people could move around faster, but it really hurt the game in its entirety because it was in the game for multiple years, and when they finally switched back to having boots on the ground, the game really didn't feel the same anymore, and at that point I kind of was over the whole COD thing and I didn't feel like playing anymore. And to be honest, that's pretty much what got me into Fortnite. I was just tired of the developers just being really bad at being, you know, actual developers, because it happened the same with, I think, 2K, or if you guys who played 2K, you guys know that their developers are the absolute worst developers of all time. It's terrible, the game isn't even enjoyable, and they just spam microtransactions all over the place. That's all you can see. They have it advertised in their own game. If you try to load up a game to play some 2K, and even if you're just not even playing an online match, you could just be playing just for fun against your own friends. You can like pick teams or whatever. It's not even like in my park, and everywhere you see, it's every single week they just magically have a sale on their virtual currency, trying to get you to buy this, trying to get you to buy that, and it was just the worst thing to deal with. And as well, they didn't really listen to the community. They made a lot of changes to the game that were just so bad to play with. It was just super annoying. They were trying to cater to worse players, and at the exact same time the skill gap was pretty bad in the game, I'm not even gonna lie. It just really wasn't that enjoyable to play. And as well, if you wanted to actually have a good character in the game, it would take you so many hours and so much time to actually do that. And if you wanted to be able to actually shortcut the amount of time it would take for you to level up your character, because otherwise you would spend at least a good month and a half to 2 months playing every single day, like full days, if you wanted to be able to level up your character. Or you could spend like 50 or 60 bucks and be able to level up your character a lot quicker. I know it's a little bit off topic, but at the same time, with something like that in the game, it was so frowned upon and so many people were in disagreement with it, that I think it would have been way better for the game to just take it out completely. Because I think developers should make some decisions when it comes to being able to hold their game for a lot longer, because they're going to have to cater to the newer players. But at the same time, if the entire community is in the biggest disagreement about it, if you're talking at least 75, 80, or 90% of players not agreeing with something, then I think it should be in the best interest of that company, or best interest in the developers, to actually revert that change, or just make it better in some sort of way, come up with a better compromise. Otherwise, I can for sure see people not wanting to play the game anymore, leaving the game, and as well just over time people just quitting the game and playing something new, because I feel like that's exactly what could happen. Because a lot of the people, if they make changes like this, people are still going to be playing the game, but if the next really good game comes out, or just anything that might sound like a better option to play is going to come out, or just anything really like that, then a lot of the times people are just going to leave the game entirely and not even think twice about coming back. So if Epic doesn't make the changes to revert what pretty much the entire community disagrees with, I think it's going to be hurting the game in the long run, even though it might hurt a few newer players who are just trying to get good at the game. And even the players that aren't that good are still in agreement with saying that mats per kill and HP per kill is a lot more fun to play with, and I would completely agree with that. And even if they wanted to slow the game down a little bit, which I think was one of the main concerns with it, just having HP per kill and mats per kill, people playing a lot more aggressive, I truly do think there's other ways to slow the game down other than taking out HP and mats per kill, because playing really aggressive and playing super fast is honestly the best way to play. It's super fun, and as well it's very rewarding for actually getting kills and going to the hot drops, instead of landing at the corner of the map, farming up for 15 minutes, and then dying to the first player that you run into. I think it's super annoying. And so overall, I really don't think Epic is going to make any changes. I don't think they're going to revert it back in any sort of way. And that's just kind of unfortunate how it is. I really don't see them trying to make any sort of changes. I don't really know why. I feel like they would try to do something to help the community, because I think back in season 2 or 3, people really praised this game for giving a lot to the community, listening to what they said, a lot of feedback. But I don't really think that's the case anymore, and I think it's hurting the game overall. But that's just my opinion, and if you guys agree or disagree, definitely let me know in the comments down below. I want to hear what you guys think. And with that being said, that's a wrap up for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you guys liked it, make sure you guys drop a like, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, turn on my notifications to be notified for every single new video. And alright guys, I'll see you next video.